My name is Jessa, and I'm 30. My daughter Ava turned 6 on a Saturday that smelled like vanilla frosting and cheap balloon rubber. The kind of day that's supposed to feel light no matter what else is going on in your life. Ava wore a glittery crown, ran barefoot across the living room like she owned the air, and laughed so hard she snorted, then laughed harder because her friends laughed at the snort. I remember thinking, for once, this could be simple. Then my in-laws arrived, and the temperature in the room changed without anyone touching the thermostat. My mother-in-law, Doreen, walked in with that polished smile that looks friendly until you realize it never reaches her eyes. My sister-in-law, Brooke, followed right behind her, carrying a gift bag and a grin that always felt slightly sharpened at the edges. They hugged Ava like she was the most precious thing on earth, then looked at me like I was a stain on the family photo they couldn't crop out. My husband Miles was busy taking coats, greeting guests, playing host, so the only person I felt in the room was me. I was in the kitchen, setting out more napkins when Doreen came up behind me. She leaned in close enough that her perfume filled my lungs, and she hissed into my ear like she was sharing a secret. You're just a leech. Not loud, not public, the kind of cruelty designed to leave no witnesses. So if you react, you look unstable. My hands went cold. I kept my face neutral, because I've learned something about people like Doreen. They don't want a conversation. They want a reaction they can weaponize later. I told myself to let it go for Ava. I forced my smile back on and walked out with a tray of cupcakes like nothing happened. But my body stayed alert, like it knew something worse was coming. Brooke hovered near the drink station, laughing too loud at jokes that weren't funny, offering to help while watching me from the corner of her eye. Doreen positioned herself where she could see everything. It was subtle, but it felt coordinated, like they'd rehearsed the day in a version of reality where I didn't get a script. I poured myself a drink, just lemonade. Nothing dramatic because my throat was tight and I wanted something cold. A neighbor asked me where the candles were and I turned for a second. When I looked back, I saw Brooke's hand over my cup, a quick tilt of her wrist. Something pale and powdery slid into my drink. It was so fast I almost convinced myself I imagined it. Then I looked up and caught Doreen's eyes across the room. She didn't look surprised. She looked satisfied, like she was waiting to see if I'd do exactly what she wanted. My heart slammed once. Hard. Then I got quiet. Because if I yelled, the party would stop. If I accused them, Ava would cry. Every kid in the living room would stare at me like I'd done something wrong. And Doreen would get a brand new story. Jessa ruined Ava's birthday. I held the cup, felt the cold plastic against my palm, and made a decision in the same instant. I wasn't drinking it, and I wasn't letting them walk away thinking they could do that to me again. Would you confront them right there? Or stay calm and play it smart? Comment, confront or calm? I walked toward Brooke with the cup in my hand, smiling like I was just being friendly. I kept my voice light. The way you speak at a children's party when you don't want to alarm anyone. Brooke, I said, you've been running around helping all day? You must be exhausted. Want some lemonade? Brooke blinked, her smile tightening. Oh, I'm fine, she said too quickly. Her eyes flicked toward Doreen, and Doreen gave her a look that wasn't a suggestion. It was a command. Brooke hesitated for half a breath, then took the cup like she had to prove something. Brooke lifted the cup. For a second, she stared at it like she could see the decision she'd made floating on the surface. Then she drank. She didn't sip. She swallowed like she was trying to get it over with before anyone noticed. She handed the empty cup back to me with a little smirk like she thought she'd won. Like she thought I'd tried to embarrass her and failed. I took the cup calmly, set it down, and watched her face. At first, nothing happened. Brooke's smirk held. Doreen's expression stayed tight, like she was bracing for impact. Then Brooke's smile wobbled. Just slightly. She pressed her hand to her stomach and laughed too loud. Woo, she said, pretending it was a joke. She grabbed a water bottle and drank fast. Doreen rushed to her side way too quickly. Are you okay? Doreen asked. loud enough to pull attention toward them. That's when people started to notice. A cousin paused mid-conversation. A neighbor frowned. Someone whispered, "Is she sick?" Brooke tried to wave it off. But her face went pale in a way you can't fake. Sweat gathered near her hairline. Her eyes got glassy. She stumbled toward the bathroom with her hand over her mouth. And Doreen followed like a shadow. Ava tugged on my sleeve right then, holding a plate with crumbs and frosting. "Mom, can I have another cupcake?" she asked. Bright and hopeful, like the world was still exactly how it should be. I crouched down and smiled at her, smoothing her hair. "Of course." "Baby," I said, "go ask your friends which one they want. You're the birthday boss." Ava ran off laughing, and I felt a hard, clean line form inside me. Whatever Doreen and Brooke tried to do, they weren't touching my daughter's day. Not if I had anything to say about it. The party limped forward after that. People kept pretending not to know what they'd seen, because adults love denial when the truth is uncomfortable. Doreen avoided my eyes. Brooke stayed locked in the bathroom for a long time, then reappeared blotchy and furious, refusing to look at me. By the time the last guest left, the house was quiet except for the rustle of wrapping paper and the hum of the fridge. Miles came into the kitchen and looked at me like he could tell something was wrong but didn't know where to place it. "What happened?" he asked, not accusing, just careful. So I told him, calmly, exactly what happened, Doreen's whisper. Brooke's hand over my drink. The powder. The look Doreen gave her. And the way Brooke turned pale after she drank it. Miles didn't interrupt. His face changed in real time, like his brain was trying to reject the idea and couldn't. Miles exhaled slowly, like the air in his chest had been holding a lie for years. "I'm sorry," he said. "Not sorry you feel that way. Real sorry." Then he said, "I'm done letting them treat you like this." That night, after Ava fell asleep hugging a new toy, I sat in the dark and replayed the moment Doreen called me a leech. I realized she needed me to believe it, because if I ever stopped believing it, she lost control. So I stopped giving them access. No more dinners where I was invited to be judged. No more holidays where peace meant silence. No more pretending for the sake of people who would risk my safety at a child's birthday party. Some families call that dramatic. I call it clarity. Because once you see who benefits from you staying small, you can't unsee it. And I refuse to raise my daughter to think love is something you earn by swallowing disrespect. If you want more real story times like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. Another story is coming next.